Hi friends, welcome. This is our midweek hatha practice. My name is Michelle, if we don't know each other. This month I am drawing inspiration from the yama, the 5 tenets for living yoga, on and off the mat. Yeah. And this week talking about asteya, or non-stealing. And as always, I do like to expand the translation, the definition from that sort of negative language, right, of what not to do, not stealing, and sort of expand that toward, well, what should we do instead, right? How do we operate in the world and on the mat? And for me, asteya really calls us to be aware of what we have, right? That we have enough, that we are enough, rather than comparing or sort of hoarding and grasping. Just to be here in this perfectly imperfect moment that we're in. And that's the first sort of inspiration for today. And along with that, I want to offer one other little nugget, which is this sense of withholding. When are we withholding care or withholding respect from ourselves? I think on the mat, in the physical practice, it's easiest to sort of be in our own bodies, in ourselves. So I wanted to offer that nudge as well, to explore maybe in the physical part of the practice. Off the mat, we want to think about where we might be withholding from others. But to practice, let's start with where we might be withholding from ourselves. We're withholding care, withholding respect from ourselves in this practice. Those are my offerings for today. Always really just stemming from my own practice as an offering to you. So take what resonates with you and roll with that in this hour. Or be here with your own reasons, your own intentions. I will say we're working toward a half moon be at the top of the mat. So can be helpful to have a block or something like a block, some kind of support to bring the floor closer to you. And just leave it at the top of the mat. That's, I think, the only place that will need it. Yeah. In any case, we begin with a moment to arrive. A moment to tune in. So you can be in any shape that feels good as an opening to your practice, as a beginning. For these moments of resonance, which again you can join in or let it move through. body. Om. An invocation of freedom through truth. Maybe this truth that we have enough already. We are enough as we are. Whatever your intention, let it ring in this last Om we offer together. First, find a breath in and out. And toward Om, a breath in. Allow that resonance to stay in your awareness. Allow it to expand with breath as we move toward a tabletop shape. Find any movement in between that calls you. And just sort of be curious as you're finding this shape. How does it feel to be in this body today? And if there's something particular you need, don't withhold that from yourself. Don't withhold breath either. Allow your whole body to breathe, to have access to this breath that's moving through. And then whatever movement you're rolling with, let that slow down, sort of gather back toward center. There's a hug of your arms and legs in toward the center line of your body. A hug of your belly toward your spine. And from that gathering up, an extension out, right? Your tail draws back, your crown forward. Even like the back of your heart could sort of shine upward into the sky. You're pressing down into the earth. We're finding this balance of give and take, yeah. What we're drawing in and what we're expanding out. And in that vein, find a full breath in and breath out. And then extend your left leg back. Press back through your heel and forward through the crown of your head a little more. And if it feels good, if you want to find a little rocking forward and back, or you can kind of roll your ankle around. But slowly, you're starting to take the weight out of your left foot. So you'll begin by, again, hugging towards center and pressing down into your hands and down through your right shin. Even if it's not like touching the floor, it's rooting down in that direction. Draw in so that you could hover. And there's also an engagement along the back of your left leg and your left glute, along your spine to lift your left leg. And you can lift it any amount, yeah, a little or a lot. We're going to start to find some movement through the hip here. So keep everything steady, except for this left leg, which is going to rotate as one unit. From your hip, you're rotating out so that your toes turn out to the left. Keep pressing through your heel, engage through your whole leg. And then bend your left knee way out to the left, way up high toward your left shoulder. With an inhale, press your left heel back, your crown forward, root through both hands. Exhale, draw your left knee toward your left shoulder. One more time, kick your left heel back. You might kickstand your right foot over to the right a little bit. We'll start to play with lifting this left hand. So start by rolling your left ribs back. That'll start to take the weight out of your left hand. Really root again through the right side. Have strength at the center and begin to peel your left elbow up toward the ceiling. And maybe that's it, and your hand can come toward your hip. Or you might be reaching your left fingers up toward the ceiling. Just don't let your arm get behind you. Yeah, it's like you're pressing your left palm into support. Feel as if you could press your left toes forward into support as well. Engage at the belly. Lengthen your spine, inhale. And then once again, bend your knee, draw your left knee. Now it's coming kind of toward your chest, yeah, along the same trajectory. And look forward and step toward the top of the mat with your left foot. Stay open. You could maybe even lean the back of your heart back a little now that you've got support. And then swim your left arm forward and down inside your left leg. Lunge forward. Let your hips get heavy. I usually want to move my right knee back a tiny bit to find that space. Draw back through your hip creases, even as your hips are heavy. Draw forward through your heart and draw your collarbones wider. With a breath in, lengthen. And with an exhale, draw your hips back toward a half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. Stay here, find some space along your spine, drawing your crown forward. Also be here to soften a bit, right? Extending that care and breath to yourself or to the dog who's come to visit. Hello. Be here to breathe. Another round of breath. And then lunge forward again. Tuck your toes behind you to lift your back knee. And we'll just find that same feeling here. Draw back through your left hip especially, forward through your crown. So you're not lifting your chin, right? Stay long at the back of your neck. Engage through your back leg a lot. And then bring more weight forward as you lift your hips back, straightening your left leg any amount, a little or a lot. But the back leg is strong. Give it a full breath in and breath out. One more. Inhale and exhale. Then bring more weight forward, re-bend your left leg, even walk your hands forward beyond your toes to step your right foot toward the outside of the mat, right on the right side. So you just have a slightly wider than usual forward fold, Uttanasana. Root down into your legs, lift up through your seat. Soften your head heavy. And just sort of notice, again, be curious about the difference between one leg and the other, one side of your body and the other in this moment. Soften your knees as you need to. Use support of the block as you need to. But begin to lengthen your spine. Keep the lift of your seat, but lift your belly and the back of your heart, Ardha Uttanasana. Stay here. Feel, again, your hip creases drawing back, your belly lifting, your crown drawing forward. Root down through the four corners of your feet, up through the back of your heart, the back of your waist. Keep that and begin to walk your feet a little closer together, more like hips width, or you can bring your toes all the way to touch if you like. We're coming toward chair pose after this. But we're finding this length of the spine first and the buoyancy at the back of your heart. Keep that, but sink your hips low. Then press into the earth to lift your heart. Utkatasana, chair pose, settle. Press through your feet, lift your thumbs, the back of your waist. Breathe. Check in. See what you might offer yourself, whether that is ease or support. right? Sometimes maybe there's some stress in your lumbar, right, in your lower back. Offer support by drawing navel to spine. Yeah. I remember reading an article about self-care a couple years back, saying something to the effect of sometimes self-care is a bubble bath and sometimes it's a savings account. Right? Sometimes self-care is adding support for yourself from your own reserves. Another full breath here. Press through both feet to stand tall. Your hips draw forward a little. Lift through the crown of your head. We'll find some space here. Draw elbows down wide. And then hug your arm bones toward each other, your shoulders toward each other to lift your sternum up. Lean back just a little to start. Yeah, still strong through both legs. Inhale, gather up, reach tall. And as you exhale, pour forward again, fold, Uttanasana. Shift your weight to the right, push through your right foot until your left foot wants to hover off the earth. Press your left heel back, bending your right knee, reach your toes to the back of the mat. Your hands to the earth. And then lift your hips, step back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. It's the first time here, and still there might be some unevenness in your legs, right? We've had some big stretches on the left side that we haven't had on the right side yet. Just see, again, be curious about this moment. Let it be just what it is. Hug in and down to feel some lightness at the center. Lift through your hips more until your heels want to lift real high. And then from that sort of buoyancy, lift through your belly, lift through the back of your heart to wave forward toward plank. And a knees down plank is always appropriate. Heels back, your crown forward. Again, press into the earth. Hug the space underneath you to feel it support you. Pressing the back of your heart, the back of your skull up toward the ceiling. Take another breath. And then use at least an exhale to bring yourself all the way down to the floor. Is one piece. All the way down to bring your forehead to the earth. Notice where you're supported. Drop back a bit wider through your collarbones, back through your elbows. Walk your hands back an inch or two so that your thumbs are about at the nipple line. Hug in through your legs and down through your feet. Toward cobra pose. Just like that halfway lift. Lift first through your belly. Then lengthen your spine forward. Not lifting your chin, but lifting the back of your skull, lifting the back of your ears. Breathe here. Offering breath everywhere that you can. Yeah, stay one more breath. Lengthen back through your toes, forward through your crown. Stay lifted, but press through your hands and your knees to come back to that tabletop shape. Even yourself out. I always end up like a little bit of a wide stance after that plank. Hug in to find support. Then extend your right heel back. Keep the hug. Find space along the back line of your body. And again, if there's a rocking forward and back and or a rolling through your ankle, I invite you to check that out. You allow yourself to have that movement if you need it. But eventually we're taking the weight out of that back foot, the right foot. So gather in and press down through your hands and through your left leg to hover your right toes off the earth. Again, stay engaged at the center. You're offering support to your back. Rotate through your right leg. It's really your right thigh, your right hip that's rotating your toes out to the right. Keep that and keep rooted through both hands as you bend your right knee way out to the right toward your right shoulder. Keep drawing your left arm bone back, even with the right. Press your left heel back, crown forward. Then again, bend your knee. Keep lifting your thigh. Your knee goes way out toward your right shoulder. Re-extend. Pause here. Gather support at the center. Maybe kickstand your left foot a little to the left. Then slowly, pressing down through your left hand, roll your right ribs back, your right hip back. It's kind of all one unit. Your right shoulder starts to roll back too. And then as your right fingers leave the floor, lift your elbow toward the ceiling. Maybe hand to hip here, or maybe your fingertips to the sky. Whatever shape it looks like on the outside, it should feel on the inside like you're both gathering towards center and expanding out in all directions. So there's that hug of the front line of the body and an extension along the back. Shoulders away from your ears, your crown reaches forward, and your leg is going to go along the same trajectory as before. Bend your right knee. Now your knee kind of comes toward your chest to step toward the top right side of the mat. And again, pausing here, you could lean your ribs back, lean your heart back, lean your head back, if that feels good. And then swim your right arm forward. Bring it inside your right foot. Adjust as you need to for a nice deep lunge here. Sink down in your hips to the degree that it's comfortable. I know that it doesn't have to be anything more than it is. It doesn't have to look any particular way. It's that feeling of gravity in your pelvis. From there, draw your heart forward, let your collarbones broaden a little bit. Big, deep breath in. And as you exhale, draw back through your hips, extending your right leg a little or a lot. Breathe here. Keep drawing your tail back. Your pelvis, if your pelvis is a bowl, it's sort of pouring forward as your tail draws back. And giving yourself a little more space to fold here. With another breath. And then lunge forward again to tuck your toes behind you, lift your back knee. Hug through your legs. So there is some effort, right? Hugging in. Come forward and then lift your hips to straighten your right leg again. And again, keep lifting back through your tail, back and up to pour your pelvis forward. Pour your heart, your head forward and down. A full body breath here. Lunge forward once again. As your weight comes forward, walk your hands forward. Push through your right foot to step your left foot toward your left pinky or toward the outside of the mat a little bit. Lift through your seat. Pour your heart and head down. Again, get curious here and see if it might feel different than that first forward fold. But press through both feet. Start to find lightness in your fingers, lightness at the back of your heart to begin to lengthen your spine. Tail back, crown forward. Again, shoulders away from your ears. Lift through your belly, hug in through your legs. So now there's a lot of strength Like you don't really need your fingers on the floor. They're just kind of for guidance, yeah. Or even your fingers on, if your fingers are on your shins, you don't need them. Hug in and up. Walk your feet in toward hips width or to touch. Bend your knees, sit way back. And then try to stay at that elevation of your hips. Just lift your heart, Utkatasana. Press down through both feet. Your inner thighs spin inward. Your feet draw outward away from each other. Still, with wherever there's effort, soften where you can. Breathe where you can. Don't withhold that from yourself. One more breath here. Then root down and reach tall. Now finding space at the sides of the body. Root through your feet, reach up. And then reach up and over to the left. Rolling your right ribs back. Stay a breath, reach longer, as long as you can be. Press through your feet to reach tall. And then up and over to the right. Rolling your left ribs back. Again, stay a breath, be here. As it is. Come back through center. Shift your weight more to the right, pushing through your right foot. As you press down through your right foot, feel it's almost like a little rebound that comes back up from the earth. As you press down into it, lift up through your left thigh, through your right thigh, your whole right side. And as the weight comes out of your left foot, draw your left knee toward your chest. Really just your thigh toward your belly. Breathe. And then begin to open your left knee out to the left. Peel your elbows wide in that sort of cactus shape. Draw your shoulder blades toward each other and your elbows down as your crown lifts up. Maybe your knee will move. Maybe it'll just be an intention in your muscles, but feel as if you're going to draw your left knee toward your left elbow. And then tree pose, attach your left foot to your left thigh or your left calf. Squeeze your left foot into your right leg and your right leg into your left foot. You could keep your arms wide this way or reach tall or draw hands to heart center. But where you are, especially if your elbows are wide, could your front ribs draw together to give more space to breathe. Keep the hug toward the center. Also not withholding that work from yourself, right? We're withholding that strength. Now, again, this might be an invisible movement, but begin to, again, feel as if you're drawing your left knee toward your left elbow. So that might be a really big movement or a really small one, just sort of ungluing your left foot from your right leg. Then begin to press your left heel back, bending your right knee, or moving toward this half moon shape. So your right hand can come down toward the block. It could hover toward the earth. It could come to heart center. And again, as you reach your right fingers down, your left hand might come toward your hip. Ooh, I looked toward you and then knocked me over. But where you are, it's that same feeling of drawing inward in the front body, extending along the back body. Breathe everywhere you are. You've got 2 more breaths in the shape that you are in. And then bend your right knee deeply. Keep the lift through your left thigh as long as you can. Then reach your left toes to the back of the mat. Warrior 2. Only here to land. Press into the earth, lift through your crown. Settle. Then press through both feet to extend your right leg. Pull back through both hips, but especially through this right hip crease, to come over your right leg and down Trikonasana. And you have that block at the top of the mat too, if you need that here. But you're rolling your left ribs back. Extending your left arm. Feel extension in your right arm too, even if there's weight in it. Feel as if you're reaching it. Engage through the front body. Hug some giant ball in front of you and extend along the back. 2 more breaths, full body breath. Re-bend your right knee. Spin both hands down inside your right leg. Free your back heel. Hug in through both legs until your left knee bends and touches down to the earth. Hug in through your legs. Press down through your left hand. And sort of in a reversal of how we got here before, press down through your left side to lift your right heel. Then lift your right foot off the earth. Again, that might be an invisible movement, or it might be really tiny, but it's the lift through your belly, the effort through your belly to lift your toes. And then as you're ready, lift your right thigh out to the right. Press your right heel back. Extend your leg back, your crown forward. Keep that. Kickstand your left foot out to the left. Begin to peel your right arm up toward the ceiling. Expand. Stay here or bend your right knee, kick your right heel back, your crown forward. Finding a little more engagement along the back body, just as we have through the front. Then once again, draw your right knee toward your chest, step forward, bring both hands down to the earth. Tuck your toes to lift your back knee. This time, as you bring your weight forward, come through a standing split. Bring your weight forward, push through your right foot to lift the left. Extend through your back heel. Rotate your back hip now to bring your left toes out to the left. Bring your right hand toward your block or your support. And we move toward that half moon shape one more time. Now from this angle. So again, it's rolling your left ribs back and up. That'll take the weight out of your left hand. Your left elbow lifts, maybe your hand to your hip, or maybe your left fingers to the sky, but roll your left ribs back. Your heart leans back a little, but there's still this hug of support at the front body. Full body breath is with you. Feel a lift through your outer left thigh to help press through your left heel forward through your crown. Last 2 breaths. Bend your right knee. Listen, big movement here from here to Tadasana. We're going to stand up. So draw your legs together. Press through your feet. Stand up. Reach tall. Whew. Yeah, big movement. Press down. Reach tall. Draw hands to heart center or down at your sides. A moment to pause, to feel breath move freely, to release whatever you're holding on to from what just happened. Offering yourself care, respect, grace. Begin to bring your awareness back to engagement. So there's this hug in through both legs, pressing down through both feet, up through your crown. Strength at the center, your front ribs draw in. Slowly press through your left foot more. Lift through your left side to draw your right thigh toward your belly. So already in this shape, you have this hug in of the front body and extension of the back. Shoulders relax, away from your ears. Reach tall. Bring your right knee out to the right. Peel your elbows down wide, squeezing in toward the center. Imagine lifting your right knee toward your right elbow. Then press your right foot into your left leg, Vrikshasana, tree pose. If you're going to keep your elbows wide, you might imagine sort of tipping your elbow points forward and your fingers back to squeeze in and lift through the heart space. Still, that feeling like you're drawing in through the front ribs so you've got space to breathe. The same hug that's through your arm bones is through your legs toward each other. Abdominals knit together too. It's all the same hug. Once again, begin to imagine lifting your right knee out toward your right elbow to detach it from your left leg. Now remember, it's a rotation of the torso while you move. So you press your right heel back, rotate your torso, rotate your heart to the right to bring your left hand down, or to reach at least your left hand down, rolling your right ribs back. But it's as if you could press your palms and your right toes into space that supports you. At the same time, extend out through the back line in all directions. Full body breath supports you too. Last 2 breaths here. Slowly bending your left leg. Keep your right leg lifting as long as you can. Then reach back as lightly as you can toward warrior 2. Settle. Press into the earth. Lift your crown. Breathe. Still, there's a hug through the legs. Extension along the back. Press through both feet to extend your left leg. And then tip forward, drawing your left hip back. Forward as much as you can before you tip your left hand down toward your left leg, toward the earth or a block. Imagine you could press this right palm into something to roll your right ribs back. Yeah, that's where we're going to be in that half moon shape too. Hug through the front, extend through the back. Draw through your ears, through your crown. Full body breath. Just another inhale. And then spin both hands down to earth, rebending your left leg. Both hands inside your left leg. Bringing your back knee down. Hug in to bend your back knee. Touch down. Hug in, and it helps for me to have just my fingertips on the earth here. Give myself a little more space. But hug in and press down through your hands. Lift through your belly. Lift your left heel off the earth first. Then you got to sort of double down on that effort. Hug in, press into the earth to lift your left toes off the earth. Again, maybe that's invisible. And eventually lift your left thigh way out to the left. And then kick your left heel back toward the back of the mat. Keep drawing back, hug in towards center. You might, again, kickstand your right foot out to the right a bit. Press down through your right hand to begin to peel your left ribs back, your left arm to the sky, or left hand to your hip. Yeah. But keep rolling your ribs back, your heart open. Stay here, or bend your left knee, kick your heel backward. You could even lean your heart back, but keep the support, the strength at the center. Another round of breath. And then one more time, draw your left knee toward your chest to step forward. Both hands come down to the earth. Tuck your toes to lift your back knee. We're coming through this sort of open hip standing split. So hang your head, bring all your weight forward. Maybe your hands to the block. Push through your left foot to lift the right. Get strong in this left leg. Press down into it, lift your left hip. Then lift and open your right hip, rotating your right toes out to the right. Still strong at the center. Press down through your left foot, maybe through your left hand as you roll your right ribs back to open your right arm to the sky. Keep your crown forward, your heel back. There's that hug in to expand out. Full body breath. Stay with that. Give yourself that gift. Keep that little bit of lift through your right thighs. Last 2 breaths here. Soften your left knee. Everything's going to come together toward Tadasana. Slowly press through your left foot to stand up. Feet gather together. Arms reach tall. Ardha Hastasana. Reach up. Tadasana. Hands through your heart center or at your sides. But be here with purpose, like you're really standing on purpose. Press down, hug in, expand out. These are our last moments standing for this practice. There might be something for you to offer yourself, something for you to offer outward. Give yourself that time in these few breaths. If nothing else, offer breath. When you're ready, stay rooted through your feet. Reach your fingers up and out. And then pour forward, Uttanasana. Full breath in. Breath out. Shift your weight left to reach your right heel back, toes to the back of the mat. Lift your hips to step back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Be here and just notice whatever your first downward facing dog looked like, felt like. That was perfect in that moment. Whatever this one looks like, feels like, that's perfect in this moment. This is all it needs to be, exactly what it is. as long as you can breathe here. Allow yourself that. Then once more, lift through your hips, through your heels, lift the back of your heart, wave forward toward plank, hugging in all the way to support yourself. Extend, heels back, crown forward. And then lower all the way to the mat. All the way down, forehead to the mat. Once more, inch your thumbs back, your elbows back and toward each other. Toes back and down. And then lift your heart forward. Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Breathe. Stay here, or you might experiment with hugging in and hovering your feet, your hands, or both. But try not to lift your chin forward, right? Keep the back of your neck long. Keep your throat open to breath. But 2 breaths where you are. Offer breath. Lower all the way down to the earth. If you like, you can pillow your hands under your forehead. Fill up with breath. And then clear it all out. No use trying to hold on to it. Press down through your right leg to lift your left toes off the floor. Just like a couple inches, it's not a lot. If you want to turn your head, you can turn your head to the left. Bend your left knee, press your heel up into the ceiling, again, just a little bit. And then lift your left hip up and over to the right. Press your heel over to the right, any amount, whatever amount, just a twist. But as you're here, feel like you could still press the top of your right foot down into the earth. Press back through your left heel, that one more breath. And then as you roll back onto your belly, bring your left knee out wide, like that tree pose, or maybe your left knee a little bit more toward your elbow, if that feels good. Yeah, either way, it's just an easeful, you want it to be easeful, yeah, an easy release for your inner groin, inner hip on the left side. Full body breath. Then press through your left heel to re-extend your left leg next to the right. And by the way, I'm lifting my head so I can talk to you, but you can leave your head down this whole time. In fact, I encourage you to leave your head down this whole time. But if you turned your cheek to the left, your face to the left before, turn it to the right now. As you press down through your left leg into the floor, hover your right foot, your right thigh off the earth. Then bend your right knee, your heel toward the ceiling. Begin to lift your right hip up and over to the left. It's like you would in a 3-legged dog. Press through your right heel over to the left. Still trying to keep your right elbow rooted, your shoulder away from your ear, and your left foot pressing into the earth, like the whole top of your left foot, left knee into the floor. Lengthen through your crown, press through your heel, this last breath. Then as you roll back onto your belly, slide your left knee out to the left, like tree pose or maybe a little wider. Let it be easeful. Just kind of using gravity to bring your right hip, right groin toward the floor. Then press through your right foot to bring your right heel, through your right heel to bring your right leg next to the left. Press down through your arms to lift your heart. Walk your elbows under your shoulders toward a Sphinx pose. And from here, again, offering yourself space. So draw your heart forward through your collarbones, reach back through your toes. Just a full body breath. Lift the back of your heart. Press through your forearms. And then release that down. Again, your elbows wide. From here, the option to stay, if you're into the whole belly down shavasana, if you'd rather just sort of lay here, or reach your arms forward and roll over onto your back. And again, and pretty much as always, it's up to you. You've done enough. Shavasana could be here and now. Only if there's something else you want to offer yourself, another shape or another movement, or more support, find your way there now. But we are moving towards stillness, whatever that looks like for you. But if there's a twist or a hug in or an extra layer you need, give that to yourself. We're seeking freedom. But we're seeking what we already have. Yeah, we are already free. But sometimes it's hard to see that, to remember that. We are already enough, already whole. You don't need to be something else or someone else. We just need to be more truly who we are. You are already and always connected, interconnected. And it's in that oneness that we are free. That we can give and receive freely. And know that there's enough. In this moment, you've done enough. You can be here. Be at ease for a few. Begin to notice again that you're breathing, that breath moves through. Maybe that can be a reminder of the opportunity to release, offer, and to gather back in, to receive. All in the course of a breath that happens. Begin to notice again that you're supported, connected, and that there's freedom there too, in that tether. The sound of Om that we'll find together honors those extremes and the space between. This ancient sound honors all that came before in this practice and all that will come after. It honors us, honors this moment here between us. Breath in and an easy breath out. And toward Om, a breath in. Twice more, breath in. That resonance, stay in your awareness, let it live at the center. And it's from here, from that center of resonance where we're connected, where we're whole, where we're free. I bow to you. Sending love and gratitude as always. Until next time, be well, be good to each other.